Seat height adjustment. How important is it on an office chair? How does it function? Is this something that you need to look for, and what should you be concerned with? These are all questions that I'm going to answer for you today in this video. Seat height adjustment is one of the most common adjustments that we see on office chairs, but it's important to understand what it is, why it's important, and how it functions so that you fully get an idea of what to expect and what to look for in your next office chair when it comes to seat height adjustment. So, what is seat height adjustment? Very simply put, it's just giving you the ability to adjust the height of your seat up and down. Why is this important? It's important because you need to be sitting at a proper angle with your knees, thighs at about 90 degrees to be in a good ergonomic position. So having seat height adjustment really allows you to ensure that your legs are in the correct posture for long hours of sitting to give you the most comfort. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how manufacturers implement seat height adjustment. So the most basic way is going to be something that we see on really low price chairs, maybe $50 or less, most commonly seen at big box stores. It's going to be a screw height adjustment, and this just operates by simply spinning the seat in one direction or the other, and then the seat height will move up or down. Very basic adjustment, the least expensive option that you can find out there. But this is also a system that we see on really high-end specialty chairs like the Concept Seating 3156. This is a specialty chair that has a 24/7 rating, and it has a massive weight rating. So in order to have that chair be as safe as possible when moving it up and down, they implemented a screw system, and you simply turn a wheel that almost looks like a drafting ring, and that allows the seat to move up and down. This is not going to be a common adjustment system, pretty rare for these days in terms of seat height adjustment on office chairs. The next one that we're going to look at is going to be hydraulic cylinders, another pretty rare height adjustment system. It's going to look like a pneumatic cylinder, which is going to be the most common, but instead of using gas, it's going to use fluid to expand or compress the cylinder, which allows you to move it up and down. Now, a pneumatic cylinder is the next cylinder we're going to talk about. That's going to be much more common in today's office chairs, replacing the fluid with gas, and this is going to expand or contract to allow you to move the seat height up or down. One thing that is important to know is that cylinders do have different class ratings. From 1 up to 4 is going to be the most common. We do see some higher classes for some specialty chairs. Typically, the higher the number, the more robust the cylinder is going to be, the more weight capacity it's going to be able to hold. So the pneumatic cylinder is definitely going to be the most common cylinder that we see to provide that height adjustment. Now, when looking at a cylinder height adjustment, whether it's hydraulic or pneumatic, there is going to be some type of an activation button, lever, handle, something to allow the cylinder to engage itself. And once the cylinder engages, it will automatically move the seat up because the gas or the fluid is expanding the cylinder. If you want to move it down, you need to keep the lever pressed, the button pressed, and put some type of weight on the seat. The easiest way is to just simply sit down. So that's how you're going to move the chair up and down. Pull the lever, move it up, hold the lever, and sit in the chair to move it down. So now we're just going to take a look at a few chairs to show you the different buttons, levers, ways that manufacturers choose to engage the seat height adjustment on their different chairs. So the most common way that we're going to see is going to be a paddle, and it's almost always going to be on the right side of the chair. So we have the BTOD Bantam here and the Nightingale CXO, and you can see that the seat height adjustment is a paddle on the right side here with the Bantam, and then a paddle on the right side here with the CXO. And all you need to do is just simply pull the paddle up, and it will engage the seat height adjustment, allowing you to move it up or down. The next design that we're going to look at is manufacturers that go with a more sleek, smaller tab or button design. We usually see this on higher end chairs that are really focused on making a clean looking office chair. And so we've got the Hayworth Fern here, the Human Scale Different World, and the Herman Miller Cosm. All of them use very small tabs that are really meant to be hidden and not noticeable from view, unlike the large paddles that we just saw on the BTOD Bantam and the Nightingale CXO. Some manufacturers choose to go with a unique way to engage the height adjustment system, not a simple paddle or button or a tab like we've seen on the previous 5 chairs that we've looked at. And 2 good examples of this would be the Herman Miller Embody and the Eurotech Seating Elevate chair. So the Embody uses a toggle stick, almost like a joystick that you just pull up and it engages the seat height adjustment. The Elevate actually has a knob that you need to turn and rotate, and that's what engages the seat height adjustment. I have not seen any other chairs come through our doors that use either of these two functions, so pretty rare designs and definitely not something that we see on most office chairs. The next thing that might differ a little bit from manufacturer to manufacturer is the location of the seat height adjustment. Almost all manufacturers will put the seat height adjustment lever on the right side of the chair in front of the armrest. There are going to be a few exceptions to the rule, so I've got a couple examples here for you. We've got the X chair here and the Aeron. So the X chair actually has the seat height adjustment on the left side of the chair. Not very common, most are going to be on the right side of the chair. And the Aeron, Herman Miller chose to put the height adjustment lever on the actual armrest. This is not an armrest adjustment, it is for the seat height. So two chairs here with two locations for the seat height adjustment that we don't see on too many other office chairs. There are going to be some additional things that you want to consider when shopping for an office chair with seat height adjustment. The first and probably the most important is that the range is going to be adequate for your height. So not all office chairs move at the same range. Some chairs go as low as 14 or 15 inches, like this petite chair here. Some chairs go as high as 21, 22 inches standard. And then we also have drafting stool options that can get as high as 34, 35, 36 inches if you're looking for a counter height stool. So it's very important to identify what height you need in your chair and then make sure that that cylinder is going to accommodate it. When looking at the range that cylinders offer, one thing that we deal with almost on a daily basis is customers looking for chairs that go both low enough for sitting at a standard desk and high enough for sitting at a standing height desk. Now, in order to accomplish this, you need a cylinder height range of something like 16 to 30 inches. And the truth is that this is simply not feasible because you're going to have the cylinder extended so high that it's not going to be safe for someone to be sitting in that stool. So it's very important to understand that you're only going to pick one or the other, or kind of an in-between. You can pick like a 16 to 21 inches, or you can pick something like a 30 to a 36 inches, or you can even get something with a wider range that's going to be in the middle, like a 20 to 32 inches. But it's going to be very, very difficult. I have not seen a chair out there yet that's going to go from true sitting to true standing height in an office chair, and that's going to be because of the limitations of the cylinder design. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is that gas cylinders are typically the most common part on an office chair to go bad and need some type of replacement. The most common issues that we see is a gas cylinder that gets stuck in one position, usually the top position, or a gas cylinder that will no longer hold its weight and it simply drops to the bottom every time that someone sits in the chair. Now, almost every time that this happens, you will need to replace your gas cylinder. Now, this brings us to our next problem with gas cylinders, and that is going to be replacing them. Replacing them can be tricky, it can be a challenge. We do have a couple videos detailing our process, how we remove cylinders, how we replace them for our refurbished Leap chairs, but I will say that it is not always an easy process. The longer that a chair has been sat in and the heavier that the person is that used the chair will make it more difficult to remove the cylinder, so keep that in mind when you need to replace the cylinder on your office chair. And that's going to conclude our summary of seat height adjustment. If you liked this video and are curious about other office chair adjustments, make sure to leave them in the comments below. We'll take a look and we'll try to make our next video on that office chair adjustment. As always, I would really appreciate you smashing that like button, and I would highly encourage you to follow us on our social media. We've got a ton of giveaways planned in the near future, along with some behind the scenes footage that's not commonly shown on our standard YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for watching.